Hi everyone. So this past weekend, I knew it was going to happen. One of my colonies swarmed. I literally pulled into my garage at home and look out the garage window into my backyard and see my bees swarming. But luckily they didn't go far. I have this huge French flower shrub in the back of my backyard and the bees love it, and swarms have landed actually in this shrub before. So you can see them kind of gathering on one of the branches. A little bit here, they're still swarming, but here's the cluster. This is what happened after they settled down, after I gave them some time to settle in there. And so off I was to get the ladder and find them a new home in one of my hive boxes. Swarms will always be the queen leaving a colony and taking about half of the population with her to find a new home. So this right here is just their temporary home. They will sit in this bush if I had not come along to rescue them, and then they eventually would have moved on to try to find a new home somewhere inside of a hollow tree or in someone's home, in the siding of their home or somewhere like that. So here I am with my ladder, off to the rescue, getting close enough. And let me just tell you that when bees swarm, they usually are not defensive whatsoever. So I've just got on a veil and my clothes that I was running errands in, not afraid at all, because they are not after me. They are following the queen and they have no resources with them to defend. So they're actually quite docile. They'll fly around and they are not looking to defend anything. I'm just using the pruners here to try to get this limb loose so that I can pull it away and put it in a new hive box. You can see it ended up being quite a big swarm as I gingerly move over and try to get them into the hive box without disturbing them too much. So any foragers will be flying around for a little while, so I just gave them some time to kind of resettle. Went to check the shrub to see if there were any other little small clusters, and I did find one. Interestingly enough, the queen will leave behind her pheromone, and that's what bees will generally smell when they stay inside of a bush or at a location that they've swarmed to, because they smell that queen. But in the end, I knew that I had gotten the queen with that cluster and put her in the box because I ended up seeing her. I couldn't catch her to try to put her in a queen clip and keep her down in the box, but I did see her move down into the frames of this box, so I knew she was down there. And once the queen is there, all the other worker bees will follow. So you can see them flying around, quite busy. Gave them some time, and I think this is probably when I was leaning over, and maybe not, but I had seen the queen, tried to capture her, but didn't have any luck. But I wanted to put on this cover to try to get them to settle down onto the frames, so I was giving them some time. So after a few minutes, came back over to check them out, and they were seeming to get a little settled. So that's good. You can actually see the bees kind of moving in a line to get down into the box. And you could actually see some of the worker bees fanning, meaning they were letting the other worker bees know, hey, the queen is inside, come on in, everything's fine. So I actually went and grabbed an entrance reducer because I thought, hey, maybe this entrance might be a little big for them at this minute. So I wanted to get an entrance reducer so that they would get used to coming and going out of a little bit of a smaller area and make sure that they didn't all fly out at once. I wanted to keep them inside as best I could, but also let them start using the real entrance. So I left them down here in my yard in the grass, actually overnight. And the next morning, once they had all really settled down into the box, came back out, moved the new box into the apiary beside all of my other ones. And here you can see the third one over. That is the new colony. So I'm keeping an eye on them, kind of quiet. Of course, it was early in the morning, and you see a few of them coming and going. Not too many yet, but they'll get used to their new home and orient. I left that little branch there so that they could get oriented to their new location.